till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on, till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on. that somehow.
Oh yes, my Straight Talk family, you hear that theme song, you know it's long past the time for me to say good night and to welcome you to another edition of Straight Talk. And I have to apologize for this tardy start this evening, my Straight Talk family, and to welcome you to another edition of Straight Talk. And we say good night, St. Kitts and Nevis. We say good night to the entire Caribbean region. As a matter of fact, we say good night to the world, because we are on the World Wide Web and we reach you in the Kittitian, Nevision, and Caribbean diaspora all across the globe. Some of you in Africa. We reach some of you in Asia. We reach some of you in Europe. And of course, a whole lot of you all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I can say good morning, and I will say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. And for the first timers, we do have first timers each time around, and I must take some time out to bid you a very, very warm welcome to your first edition of Straight Talk. And let's hope and pray it won't be your last. And for you who have joined me for the first time, just to inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express yourselves freely. Let's, my Straight Talk family, strive to get St. Kitts and Nevis back to that enviable position of being one of the freest countries in the world. It's a Himalayan task, but let's try, my Straight Talk family. It's going to be difficult, especially with the current circumstances that we are facing in this federation. And my Straight Talk family, for the first timers as well, we try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. And as your host, I will pledge eternally to remain an untiring advocate of truthfulness, as I'm always reminded by a favorite hymn of mine. I must quote this excerpt. It goes something like this: we are called to be God's prophets, speaking for the truth and right, standing firm for godly justice, bringing evil things to light. So let us seek the courage needed, our high calling to fulfill, that we all may know the blessing of the doing of God's will. So my Straight Talk family, especially for the first timers, let me assure you that absolutely nothing is watered down on this program to make it interesting, not by omission or by exaggeration. Straight Talk is not about sensationalism or creating excitement. These are serious times. And we're not going to create excitement like some at the expense of accuracy, because we always lean on the facts. So it is my duty to present the unvarnished truth, my straight dog family. The plain truth, especially when it comes to governance in our beloved country of St. Kitts and Nevis. And then through this program, we are joined together with people across the Federation. We are joined together with people in the diaspora all around the world. And some we know very well and have met. Others we don't know, and many we will never meet. Some of us will agree with the positions of truth advanced on Straight Talk, and some will disagree, and that's fine, because we promote diversity of views. But please, what will sadden me, my Straight Talk family, is if we start to become disagreeable. So let us thank Almighty God, nonetheless, for helping us to understand, oh, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Let us therefore hope and pray for the day when we will all sing his praise together. So welcome again, my people. And just to remind the first timers as well that we include your calls because it's a participative program, I call it. We include your calls, and the numbers are on your screen. We also include your emails. Some like the cloak of anonymity. So we give you access via our email platform. And that address is also on your screen, straighttalkpatches@gmail.com. That's one word, Straight Talk Patches. And how could I forget my young brigade, my junior brigade, my Straight Talk Junior Brigade to be exact, young Dwayne, saying hello to Tristan, Shamar, Kevin over there in Nevis, young Wu Costa in South Carolina, yes, Jamal in Anguilla, Travis and Travon of Ponds Extension, and how can I as well forget that special lady in St. Louis. I heard just belatedly of the passing of one of my good old friends from St. Kitts, lived in Toronto, I believe, Desmond Jones. And we want to extend condolences to his entire family. I have not heard him for some time. Eldario and the Jones family in Nevis and Canada and in North America generally. We extend our condolences on the passing of Desmond. Now, the title of my thesis tonight is Enough of This Abracadabra Government or Cabinet, my Straight Dog family. Enough of this Abracadabra Cabinet. So don't move your dial. We do have our observation in review, and I'll move right into my observations in review. That's the time, and after which we allow you to have your say. My Straight Dog family, the time when we reflect on the issues. And our first observation relates to the July Labour Administration that has been trying unsuccessfully to get projects off the ground, but to no avail. And one would have thought by now, with all the self-acclaimed experts in the cabinet, this administration would have settled down by now and focus on implementing their plans and programs if they had. But by now they should have settled down and implement their plans and programs to better the lives of our people, especially those who are struggling in this country, my Straight Dog family. So we're living in a world that's filled with so many uncertainties, so many unpredictabilities, and so many improbabilities as well. But instead they come and continue, so to speak, driving the car in the rearview mirror. It is obviously a deliberate policy on their part to try to diminish the good work done by Team Unity in so many areas in our economy and in such a short space of time. First time ever for any administration, I may add. But people know better. And July just continues to lose his credibility as our leader. How can July, for example, say that Team Unity never drilled a well? Never drilled one well, he said. Well, he knows better. He must have heard his minister and so-called engineer Congress speak to the contract. Congress spoke to the contract that he inherited, that we signed, my straight dog family, before he came into office. So how can July say, for example, as I said, we never drilled one well in St. Kitts? And when you hear him speaking this way, it saddens me, my straight dog family. It really, really saddens me when he would say something like this.
And this is what I criticize the former administration for. Not one well was dug. Not one plant was constructed.
And when you hear July make comments like that, when we have a well that's still capped because of the contamination, and a part of the bid contract, like I said, was to rectify that contamination in that well and put some almost 400,000 gallons of water in the St. Peter's area. We did in fact commission Shadowell 1 with another 400,000 gallons as well. So if July can come clean, he will get some more respect from the people in the country. But I don't know, my straight dog family, if it's too late. It may very well be too late, because he's now gone beyond being King Liar, my straight dog family. A judge called his predecessor and second prime minister a stranger to the truth. But everybody would say he has won Douglas hands down, my straight dog family. So why he continues to fabricate, why he continues to lie, is anybody's guess, my straight dog family. Now, our second observation, and we must make mention of Culturama going on, that's been officially opened tonight across the Narrows. And this year's Culturama 50, as I said, is being officially opened tonight and runs until the 6th of October. The 6th of August, what am I saying, my straight dog family? Runs until the 6th of October. Celebrating culture, embracing history is Culturama 50. And there's no festival that I know of, my straight dog family, that do not have. There's no festival in the entire Caribbean without Kaiso. And last night, the Junior Kaiso contest was held, and the youth demonstrated that there's hope for Kaiso in the future for Nevis. And in this highly competitive contest, young Mighty J was crowned Monarch over there in Nevis. Young Mighty J was crowned Junior Monarch. Just barely edging out Mighty Zen on aggregate, and Lady B and Prince Kali were second and third runners-up respectively. And come next week, Friday, the second is the big one, the Senior Monarch Finals will be staged next Friday the 2nd, and that's when 8 other Calypsonians, is 8 or 9 other Calypsonians, I stand to be corrected here, would try to dethrone the reigning monarch, King Hollywood. But King Astro and this and that and the others will try to dethrone King Hollywood. So celebrate your culture, Nevis, and embrace your history. We'll talk about the other things come next week. But I do trust and hope you'll have a wonderful Culturama. Many folks are back home and understand that things are difficult, but we'll have fun for Culturama. And our third observation, my Straight Talk family, relates to some weeks ago. Some weeks ago, I brought your attention to our 2024 Olympic team that's gone to represent us in Paris. And they've gone off to Paris. And I read the release from the St. Kitts Nevis National Olympic Committee, my Straight Talk family. And I recall saying to you that I felt a sense of sadness. I felt a sense of sadness because when I saw the team St. Kitts Nevis, I asked myself, where are our marquee athletes? I mentioned that this was telling us something about the leadership or lack thereof coming from the Minister of Sports, down through the Ministry of Sports, right down to the Athletic Association. And my Straight Talk family, I stopped by the Silver Jubilee Stadium. We all call it the Kim Collins Stadium. And I thought I would update myself on the works going on over there at the Kim Collins Stadium. And you would find that notice on the gate. Notice temporarily closed for renovation. And that's been going on for months, my Straight Talk family, months. But I can tell you, it appears that Samuel Luggins, the minister, and his ministry has abandoned that project. Because if you ask me, my Straight Talk family, nothing, absolutely nothing is going on at that stadium. And that is so sad, my Straight Talk family. Remember the inter-school sports and all the sports we had this year had to go across to Nevis at Long Point, where they have to host tents. And our stadium is in disrepair. And that, to me, is very, very sad, my Straight Talk family. But I'll tell you more about that in the coming weeks, my Straight Talk family. But those are my observations in review for tonight. And I'll move right to my thesis, which I just intimated. It is titled, Enough of This Abracadabra Cabinet. And as a young boy growing up in Newtown, my Straight Talk family, there was a magician called Tonka the Kid. That was his stage name. We all know him as Tonka, who mesmerized everyone in the community with his tricks. Tunka the Kid was always full of antics. And one night, with his pretty cloth and a magic wand, he shouted, "Abracadabra." Then he made this young woman lay a small golden egg. Yes, abracadabra, and this young woman laid a small golden egg. From that time, my Straight Dog family, we were all curious and at times afraid of Tunka, the Kid. But after performing some stunning tricks, some people, especially the younger ones, like myself, grew afraid of this magician. But later I learned that there were other people in the community who looked up to Tunka the Kid and believed that this magician could solve their problems. So many days and nights you would see different people opening Tunka's gate as if they were going to see a doctor for advice. Well, Dr. July, our Prime Minister, my Straight Dog family, reminds me so much of the magician Tunka the Kid, especially when he speaks and he uses a kind of language that sounds so much like gibberish, and he gives the impression that at all times he is speaking from a position of knowledge and authority, when in fact he's, like we say in colloquial language, chatting rubbish. People have got so fed up with all the mumbo jumbo and the abracadabra from the Prime Minister. When you listen to Prime Minister July, he comes across like a magician that always shouts, "Abracadabra, I will build a smart hospital." I'm sure you've heard him. "Abracadabra, I will construct 2,400 smart homes." "Abracadabra, I will build a brand new Bastia High School." "Abracadabra," he shouts, "I will stop the crime, reduce the crime." "Abracadabra," you heard him say, "I was set up and signed 22,000 passports." So my Straight Dog family, after 2 years in office, what we have, it seems, is an abracadabra leader and Prime Minister. Because clearly, Prime Minister July does not understand the preferences and needs of our people, or of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. July, believe it or not, my Straight Dog family, finally conceded. He finally conceded, my Straight Dog family, that government is continuous. When I heard him, my Straight Dog family, I was shocked. I was shocked when I heard that our abracadabra Prime Minister and leader said this, my Straight Dog family.
People, just like the CBI, that the government is continuous. So just like you approve the citizens, the CORs for the prison project, there are things that obligate me because the government is continuous. Government does not change in our system. What changes is the administration.
Wow. It took him 2 years to concede, my Straight Dog family, that government is continuous. And it took him the exposure of a big lie. And he signed 22,000 passports in this country. And he said he was set up. But he now says Government is continuous, but his actions speak louder than his words. Every single project he met that was left by Team Unity, he either abandoned or frustrated them. The Bastille High School, for example, was at shovel-ready stage. After completing the Environmental Impact Assessment, the EIA, the architectural and other construction designs, and very importantly, after receiving the requisite building approvals by the Development Control and Planning Board. Yet my Straight Talk family, he would go before an highly intelligent people and say that $20 million was spent on dirt. And he continues with that. But my Straight Talk family, just to give you an insight of how the government system works, not 1 cent could have been disbursed by the government treasury unless the invoice for works or services was approved by Chief Engineer George Gilbert, now Director of the Public Works Department, which is the technical arm of the government. Is July saying that Chief Engineer Gilbert, or then Director of Public Works Cromwell Williams, colluded with someone to thief $21 million from the Treasury? What he is saying about Gilbert and now Williams? Are they scams? So Gilbert, George Gilbert, Director, my friend, tell us, where the $21 million gone? Because Joe keeps saying it was spent on that. $21 million from the Treasury, just like the $8 million that is still unaccounted for, my Straight Dog family, for the R.L. Bradshaw Museum project, at which construction has stopped. $8 million has been spent on this project, and it has gone nowhere, my Straight Dog family. But I tell you, government, yes, is continuous, he said. And he continued this Bastille High School project. And had he continued rather this Bastille High School project, the children of East Bastille in particular, and those in the environs, would have been in an environment that is more conducive to learning. But their mumbo-jumbo excuse about contaminating the aquifer was nothing but pure politics that defied the concept of government being continuous. My Straight Dog family, the current manager and water engineer, Cromwell Williams, who I believe is the only trained hydrogeologist in St. Kitts Nevis, I recall, debunked this political theory about contamination at the aquifer. And Cromwell, amongst other things, said this, my Straight Dog family.
Our advice to the cabinet was that, given that the Ponds Estate site is at least 1,000 feet downstream of the closest well, which is designated well 148, and furthermore is in an area of the Bastille Valley which was never used for potable water extraction and is very unlikely to be used for potable water extraction, coupled with the use of modern wastewater technology, this site does not present a danger to the potable water supply.
And that's coming from the only trained hydrogeologist who is now advising the so-called engineer, Congress, and the cabinet. But I say, my straight dog family, God don't like ugly. My grandmother used to say. So don't be surprised if July Labour ever or never build this school. My straight dog family, take my word tonight. The majority of petitions and divisions have lost trust in this government. And it would take more than abracadabra to regain it. Over the past weekend, St. Kitts recorded 3 murders in 4 days. And abracadabra, Prime Minister July posted a tweet on X, formerly Twitter, about the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. But not one word he had said about the 2 murders first. While in opposition, remember, he was fed up. He was fed up with crime. But now in government, he lost his tongue until last night, my straight dog family. He lost his tongue until just last night when he made a quote-unquote national address. July, remember, my straight dog family, promised to reduce the murder rate to single digits when he came in office in 2022. But as we say, that is nothing but his mumbo-jumbo gibberish. Remember, he said this, my straight dog family.
We are happy that crime statistics have continued to be at an all-time low, particularly in terms of gang-related homicides. The Ministry of National Security has set as a target the downward trend in homicide from the previous 15-year low of 10 to a single digit. A target is also set for improving the major crime detection rate by 15%.
And my straight talk family, so the records would be accurate. In August of 2022, July inherited a country with 2 murders. By the time the year ended, he added 8 more murders. So it made 10. So of the 10 he referred to, 8 were under his leadership in the Ministry of National Security. And since August 2022, my straight dog family, the heaven of 59 families have turned into a living hell under Dr. July. Just 2 nights ago, on Tuesday, well-known Sandra Roberts was brutally murdered. And this brings the total murders for 2024 to 20 and an overall total of 59 murders under Terence Michael July, our Crime Minister and Minister of National Security. I say Crime Minister, my straight dog family, not by accident, but I say so deliberately. Because each time I hear him say that the Team Unity Administration opened our country too late after COVID-19, I cringe, my straight dog family. And this is supposed to be a medical doctor, my straight dog family. And he keeps repeating this nonsense that we open the country too late, my straight dog family. And it is such an irresponsible statement, my straight dog family. And I would pray that he cease and desist in making such irresponsible statements like this one.
I want to remind our people that we came out of COVID. COVID, of course, would have had its deleterious effects, or its bad effects, so to speak, on our economy. It was worsened because a bad policy decision by the former administration to open the country late. All of the countries were opened early and benefited by the spike in tourism. Because you have to imagine, people were locked down in Europe and America, And so when the countries open up, they just rush out in numbers to get to a nice tropical island. We were not ready in time. And so the other countries saw record numbers, and we did not benefit from that because we kept the country locked down, unnecessarily so, because the former administration did it for political reasons. That hurt us, and hurt us tremendously. When you do that, you lose tens of millions of US dollars as a result of that bad decision.
Really, my Straight Talk family? The country was locked down for political reasons? We faced a coronavirus pandemic that shut down the entire world. Ask yourselves, my Straight Talk family, is Terence Michael July glorifying death over the sanctity of life? And that is a fair question. Terence Michael July continues to lie, propagandize and politicize COVID-19 and every single issue instead of governing the country for the benefit of all of us, my Straight Dog family. While Terence Michael July was busy trying to make money by selling rapid test kits that were not approved at the time by the Food and Drug Administration. Yes, not approved by the FDA. Our third Prime Minister, who is not a medical doctor, but introduced on the advice of the CMO and the Chief Operations Officer, I think he's called then at the hospital, Dr. Cameron, my friend, introduced a life first strategy that saved men, women, and children and prevented an overrun of our healthcare system, my Straight Dog family. It was all about life first, my Straight Dog family. That was the strategy of our third Prime Minister, my Straight Dog family.
Our strategy has always been very clear. Life first strategy. Whatever we do, we had to use all our efforts and resources to save lives. We followed that particular strategy to a T. We are now at a watershed moment, the moment of vaccination. We had always hoped that we would be able to begin our vaccination program before there was any hint of community spread in our federation. Thank God he has brought us this far and we are able to accomplish this goal. I want to say that we feel, and we should all feel proud of the accomplishments to date. And even as we rejoice at this significant watershed moment, the country at large must be reminded it is not over. It is not over until we achieve herd immunity. It is not over until our neighbors achieve herd immunity. Therefore, we must all continue to take the prescriptions given, the wearing of our masks, the hand hygiene, the physical and social distancing. We must take them to heart and abide by them even as we build out. We want, as a chief medical...
And my Straight Dog family, ask yourselves, what could be bad about a policy that emphasizes the inherent value and dignity of every human life in St. Kitts and Nevis? Terence Michael July, by his proposition to open the country earlier, implies a devaluation of life itself, where the loss of life is considered less significant, or where human life is seen as expendable in a rush for millions, according to him, 10 millions of tourist dollars, my Straight Dog family. The policy or strategy earned St. Kitts and Nevis the distinction of recording the lowest COVID-19 death rate in the entire world, my straight dog family. The entire world. Hear that, my straight dog family. So what could be bad about this policy? What could be bad about the policy, my straight dog family? Look at the stats on your monitors. Look at the stats on your screen, my straight dog family. Barbados opened early. And look at their deaths in Barbados, my straight dog family. 693. St. Lucia opened early, my straight dog family. And look at the deaths recorded in St. Lucia. 416. Antigua and Barbuda opened earlier. Look at their deaths. 124, my straight dog family. The Bahamas, 646 deaths. And look at St. Kitts and Nevis, my straight dog family. 48 deaths too many. The lowest in the entire world. How could that be a bad policy, Dr. July? Dr. July, as I said before, reminds us of Tonka the Kid, the magician, except that his abracadabra performance as Prime Minister so far has been laced with lies in order to help him to perform successfully. Terence Michael July speaks about smart hospital, smart housing, smart this and smart that, but he would never be considered a smart prime minister. Instead, he would be remembered as a lame duck abracadabra doctor and prime minister. Abracadabra smart housing, he said, will resume in August. He says, abracadabra housing, where have they gone? But he told us that they would resume in August. And we're waiting because 2,400 houses are to be built, according to him, my straight dog family. 2,400 houses. And where are we with the construction of those houses? But when I ask the question, he moves the goalpost each time. Every time you ask him a question about something, and in this case the houses, he just moved the goalposts all around the field, my straight dog family. And he said that the houses will start in August. He said this.
I want to announce that the housing program in earnest is going to kick off fully in August, in just a few weeks. East Coast has set up its office where Sugars is on the Frigate Bay Road, regardless of all these negative things and these fake news or misinformation rather that's going around the country. And that is going to be providing a lot of jobs for our people, as well as the homes for our people as well, in large numbers.
Yes, my straight dog family. He said the housing would start in earnest. These are his words, in August. They were kicked off since in November 2022. But it is the crooked Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin who must tell us, as a country, if the contract between East Coast Housing Development and the National Housing Corporation is still valid, as he has not reported anything to the nation since he spoke about the simple ways of ending the contract. The crooked Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin, the slow student Jeffrey Hanley, and Prime Minister July must also tell the nation if it is a rumor or truth that Brian Singh of East Coast Housing Development has made good of the US $150 million that was guaranteed, or the guarantee issued by the government of St. Kitts Nevis. but not for the smart houses. We have not seen them, my street dog family. Finally, my street dog family, I heard abracadabra. I was committed by the former Prime Minister, he said. Committed to do what, my street dog family? Committed to do what is the question we ask, my street dog family. Our CBI program, we ought to know by now, is a program that facilitates what economists refer to as foreign direct investment. And I need to just take a few minutes on this, our CBI program, my street dog family. In the case of St. Kitts and Nevis, it allows citizens of other countries to purchase our passport, which gives them visa-free access to over 100 countries and more, including those in the Schengen area. Over the years, foreign direct investment through the CBI provided our country with much needed capital and helped to boost our productive capacity, create jobs and spur economic growth, which is always important, especially in times of high unemployment. You see how our CBI funds came in during the COVID-19. We lived as usual. Foreign direct investment helps to generate foreign exchange earnings, which is used to finance imports or service foreign debt. There were disadvantages, yes, but St. Kitts Nevis benefited immensely from the CBI program over the years, my street dog family, although they are trying to mash it up, some of them, my street dog family. Okay, they're trying to mash it up. Let's get that other soundbite. This one seemed to be not recorded. But let's move on, my street dog family. But since the change of government in 2015, my street dog family, our third prime minister, my street dog family, has ensured, he has made certain that all CBI monies due to the government are placed into the Consolidated Fund, or the Treasury, as we say, my street dog family. But I must make a point tonight about the money that comes from the CBI program and state the only money due to the government is derived from the option called the Sustainable Island State Contribution and or the fees, my street dog family, and or the fees, again, and or the fees payable on each application. And that can be found in our legislation, my street dog family. That can be found in our legislation. And my street dog family, if you look at the legislation, it is very, very clear, my street dog family, about the fees payable. And the fees payable are straightforward and are listed here on your monitors. And you can glean from your monitors that this is payable. The following monies paid as Sustainable Island State contributions or any other statutory contributions paid to the unit. And it goes on. Very clear and straightforward, my street dog family. Then we have the second schedule. The second schedule outlines as well That's the second schedule to the Citizenship by Investment Act, number 11 of 2024. That too is quite clear. My Street Dog family, in terms of the funds related to the CBI and what is paid into the consolidated fund. Again, my Street Dog family, I needed to, in fact, ensure that I bring you this information because a lot of nonsense is being peddled as it relates to monies that belong to the government. That's the talk we hear about it. What money belongs to the government and how much money is on the outside. But my Street Dog family, the nonsense peddled in particular by the Lebanese former Minister of Tourism and others is just mumbo jumbo and gibberish about billions in Chinese banks, and they go on and on. Go get the money, Snake Mark Brantley and Terence Michael Jew, and you can both use the $400 million. My Street Dog family, they can use the $400 million to develop phase 1 of the Geothermal project on Nevis, which has its legacy issues dating back since 2004, my Street Dog family. 2004, these issues all started.
Earlier today at Hamilton Estate, an official ribbon cutting ceremony took place to signal the commencement of the drilling operations for the geothermal test well. Deputy Premier and Cabinet-appointed Minister responsible for the geothermal project, the Honourable Mark Brantley, outlined the significance of the project.
This geothermal project, has been an exercise that has now occupied the minds of governments, and even through change of governments on the island of Nevis since about 2004. And so as we stand here today in November of 2017, we're talking about nigh 13 years that we have been trying to get to a point where we can move this project forward. I think the advantages of geothermal are well known. We're talking about clean energy, green energy, cheaper energy, and a renewable resource that really puts Nevis in a category of its own. If we can achieve what we intend to achieve here, it means that Nevis becomes fossil fuel free for its generation of electricity. It puts us really in a category of our own in the Caribbean and perhaps in the world in terms of being completely sustainable for our electricity supply.
According to Brantley, a total of 6 locals have been employed on the project thus far.
This is a resource given to us by God. It is a resource that is made available to us, and it is for us now to harness that for the...
And my Street Dog family, do apologize for that, but my Street Dog family, if monies are in the Chinese banks or wherever, go get the money. I ask you, my Street Dog family, go get the money. Go get the money, Snake Mark Brantley, so you can complete the wing of the Alexandria Hospital that is under construction for the last 7, going on 8 years. Prime Minister Terence Michael July has now become, like the Snake Mark Brantley, a clear threat to our democracy. So to the bunch of experts who have fast become globe-trotters. Yes, my Street Dog family, they have fast become globe-trotters, we call them. Globe-trotters they are, my Street Dog family. That is who they are. And they possess, and they are, and in the process rather, they all collect a per diem of $400 per night. They collect over $1,000 for each day they spend off the island. No wonder they have all become such frequent travelers. But be ye not fooled by this mumbo jumbo gibberish coming from this leader, about working abroad, for example, my street dog family.
I was working abroad. Tell them we don't just travel, we work abroad. When we go, we don't take no picture with no camel and on no beach with no glasses. We taking picture with leaders and investors telling them to invest in St. Kitts and Nevis. That is what we travel for. So we work abroad on your behalf.
Working abroad on our behalf, he said, my straight dog family. It's nonsense talk, as it makes no sense. Their actions or policies seem like magic tricks or illusions. 2,400 houses promised in 4 years, which is so unrealistic. Additionally, the actions taken by Attorney General Garth Lucifer Wilkin to strike the fixed claim or fixed date claim for judicial review are mysterious. They are not transparent, leaving citizens uncertain about their intentions or the outcomes of their decisions. In conclusion, my street dog family, I had a professor at university who always said, get up to date, get up to date. So I believe, my street dog family, that it would be remiss of me, my street dog family, if I did not address some things I heard, some of the gibberish in the national broadcast last evening, made by Prime Minister July, who called for national consultation. Among the nonsense he peddled, he said this, my street dog family.
We have a serious gun problem in our society. This societal ill, reflected throughout the region, has been serious for us for at least 2 decades now. But it has worsened because of the introduction of money into the equation. Not only do the gangs have numerous members, but because of the ill-advised peace program, they have significant amounts of money used to buy influence and dangerous sophisticated weapons which are used to carry out heinous acts. That is why the focus in our National Security Council meeting earlier today was suppression. Suppression in preventing the inception of crime or preventing expansion of criminal activity.
My street dog family, when you hear that, I can imagine what you said. But you know, Dr. July got an appropriate response, which went something like this, my street dog family.
I want to ask July something. So people are there thinking before the peace program. How much used to dead a year before the peace program under labor? Why do you come like this at guns? How much people used to dead as sing kids before the peace program a year? The peace program come and the peace program lessen it. I come back here now and the same bullshit start again. People start to drop like flies by blaming the peace program. I don't tell you, real killers don't join the peace program. I need to teach July some sense.
And he himself, my street dog family, yes, he needs to be taught some sense because he himself spoke to the murders before or when he was in opposition. He said this.
In 2011, we peaked with murders in St. Kitts, 36. We can all remember that was the year for that. It peaked, but once the policies were put in place, it dropped significantly. In 2011, we peaked with murders in St. Kitts, 36. We can all remember that was the year for that. It peaked, but once the policies were put in place, it dropped significantly.
So he knows about the crime, it blames the peace program. And according to July, a suspect took the advice of National Security Advisor Lionel Wusi Rollins. We note, my Straight Talk family, I must interject here as well, that National Security Advisor Rollins has not been attending or not been invited to high-level security meetings, we observe. Notwithstanding that, my Straight Talk family, someone, according to July, heeded the advice of the National Security Advisor. Do we recall this advice, my Straight Talk family?
If you know that you're involved in the murder of someone, I would encourage you to borrow some money, buy an airline ticket, and leave the island. Because it's going to cause us problems. That's as bluntly as I could say.
And my Straight Talk family, whereas we cannot really trust July, he said this in his address last night as well.
In fact, this week, it is through our enhanced intelligence infrastructure that a suspect of one of the recent homicides left St. Kitts, and we have been able to locate him.
So yes, if July is talking the truth, that suspect took the advice of NSA Wusi Rollins. But with respect to July's call for national consultation, my Straight Talk family, he must first guarantee the country that all boats will ride on the same tide. He must guarantee the country that in any given situation in St. Kitts Nevis, each of us is affected by the same conditions that the country is facing. So July must first commit to the idea of shared circumstances or equalizing factors that influence everyone equally. Just as the tide impacts all boats on the water, the stressful conditions or changes that July has made with the peace program and the poverty alleviation program have had a universal effect on everyone involved. And my humble view is any national consultation in St. Kitts Nevis cannot only address the issue of crime. It must prioritize justice, fairness, and the fundamental right to live and work in one's homeland without facing political discrimination and or political victimization. The development of our country must transcend political divisions and secure our collective existence. There are highly qualified and competent citizens who are willing to put country above self, but are unable to secure employment simply because it is perceived that they do not support the Labour Party. As citizens, we all have a constitutional right to freedom of association and the right to work. Your special advisor, Appleton, shows disdain, disrespect, and contempt toward everyone. What are his achievements in this country? None. A national consultation must therefore address the utilization of all of our human resources, not just those aligned with the current administration. Let us rectify the course, then genuinely consult all citizens to move forward inclusively as we aspire to transcend political boundaries. There is widespread dissatisfaction with how the July administration operates, and the results it achieves create a sense of disappointment and or disillusionment among the populace, especially the poor people who are shouting loud and clear that they all had enough of this abracadabra cabinet. That's my story tonight, my Straight Talk family, and I am not going to change it. I will open the lines and entertain your calls and your emails. And when I do so, momentarily, I anticipate that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned, and let us, in the process, try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us, my Straight Talk family, in the things we say and or do, strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. It's 14 past the 9 o'clock hour. Let's go to lines and say good night, caller. You're live. Hello, caller.
Good night, Mr. Liburd. The quote this evening: never be afraid to raise your voice for honesty, truth, and compassion against injustice and lying and greed. I repeat, never be afraid to raise your voice for honesty, truth, and compassion against injustice and lying and greed. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much. Never be afraid to raise your voice for honesty, truth, and compassion against lying and greed. Is that? I hope I got it right. I've always struggled to write this down. Yes, my Straight Talk family, I always forget to repeat this quotation at the end of my program. I did it once or twice, and I'll try and remember that. Never be afraid.
Good night.
How are you, the Bible man? Good night. How art thou tonight?
I'm fine, Mr. Patrick. I want to say something to you now, right?
Please, go ahead.
Listen me carefully.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like people don't know who God is. But I want to say something. Give me I am going to finish now. It seems like that people are playing around. And I am going to say something to you to Patrick. David was running Saul. And when Saul ended up in the cave with David and threw them there. And so Saul and so David could have killed him. David cut off Peter Saul's coat and he smote that thing smote David in his stomach. And it tell him, touch not the Lord anointed. It seems that people want to play around with the man of God. But that is, I come to straight talk tonight to tell people, do not play around with the man of God. That is, whatever man soweth, he shall also reap.
Yep.
So, Psalm chapter 1. And for the benefit, I am going to Psalm chapter 7. I am reading from Psalm, and I'm going to say it from Psalm 7 tonight. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord for his good.
Mercies.
His mercy endures forever.
Yes, my brother.
Let the redeemed of the Lord say so, who he has redeemed from the hands of the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I am going to finish right now. Here, I've been working in St. Kitts. I work under the Douglas government. I work under Simmons government. But Patches, when I used to work under Douglas government, I used to pay house levy. But Patches, me still got me house to pay back. So I used to pay 2 levy. And I work so hard. And the Lord provide himself alarm. On today, Patches, I am banking on the Lord because God have done his job. And anybody, I can say tonight, who will listen to me, anybody say around me, I am going to fast and pray and put them before the Lord and let God take control of them. We don't got no problem. And I'm saying to now, I ain't got no problem, Patches. I am going to put the people them before the God rule the whole universe. I am not going to get frustrated over nobody. Or God rule this whole universe. So thank you, Patches, for listening to me. Have a pleasant night rest.
Have a pleasant night as well, my dear brother. The Bible man, he normally gives us his spiritual interventions. He gave us a little sermon on other things. St. Kitts reads this email. Mr. Patches, good evening. Nevis is not the end of the world, but you can see the end of the world from Nevis. Patches, Nevis is in a hole. That rattlesnake Brantley keep referring to us as a sister island, St. Kitts, with his foulness. We are his parents. Have you ever seen those clowns with their t-shirts? Nevis and St. Kitts with the Federation flag on it? Patches, as to July, he has sung to the lowest he can ever sink. First he goes into the house and said Timo set them up. And last night he said that the peace program that gave the gangs all this money is the reason the murders are happening. For they're using the peace money to buy high-powered weapons. Can you believe that? BS. Shame on him. Good night, warrior. Be safe. It's one thing that we must mention, though, that other Jew said the policy was bad and the money was paid, but he's paying the same money, under the Elevate program. This guy is so untrustworthy. If that's the right word, my Twitter family. Blessed love, Mr. Patches reads this email. I really do enjoy the last episode entitled 4 Doctors. Excuse me. Economy, more people dying under July. It was really on point, as usual, you and well put together. And it's the fact because every single day, people abuse the Res labor bad and talk about them and said they mash up the country is so badly, reads this email. And this other email reads, Patches, I am truly sorry for PM Drew, but I am so ashamed to be a critician when he says the development bank made a decision to stop doing bank audits. What foolishness. Dr. Drew, please tell the nation the date of the board meeting from the minutes of the board meetings. Drew, you are making yourself a public comedian with your lies. Drew has no respect for the intelligence of criticians. That is so true. That is so true. Good night, Patches. Dr. Drew, lest you forget, the highest ever murder rate was under Labour. The lowest ever was under Unity, single digit. Now that Labour is again in power, the numbers for a little more than half of the year is 20 murders. but you continue. Okay, that has stopped there. And this other email reads, "Good night. I listened to the Prime Minister on Tuesday with Jamie McPhail. He kept on talking about COVID, and as usual, in the rear of the mirror. I would simply ask Prime Minister Drew to do like President Biden and pass the torch for the love of country. Drew ain't ready yet," reads this email. It's 24 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour, my Straight Dog family, and you may have just joined me. And tonight we are discussing our thesis, which I have titled "Enough of This Abracadabra Cabinet." And my Straight Dog family, when we look at what's happening in our country and we examine the performance of this abracadabra cabinet, it is important that we take stock and decide what we are going to do. Because Dr. July doubles down on his lies. I mean, when Dr. July can say this to the country, my Straight Dog family, we need not listen to him, but we need to tell him, goodbye, Dr. Joe. Go back where you came from. He said this.
We have a serious gun problem in our society. This societal ill, reflected throughout the region, has been serious for us for at least 2 decades now. But it has worsened because of the introduction of money into the equation. Not only do the gangs have numerous members, but because of the ill-advised peace program, they have significant amounts of money used to buy influence and dangerous sophisticated weapons which are used to carry out heinous acts. That is why the focus in our National Security Council meeting earlier today was suppression. Suppression in preventing the inception of crime or preventing expansion of criminal activity.
Let's go back to the lines, my Straight Dog family. Caller, thank you for holding. You're live.
Good evening, Patches.
How are you, my dear brother? Good evening.
I'm great, man. I'm great. Thank you. You are the most look forward to, want to hear the facts of life and all that is going wrong in St. Kitts and Nevis especially. Good night, brother Straight Talk, brother Nabu, and Shano. That is, too many wrong things are happening in St. Kitts and Nevis for people to skip over these here and don't talk about them.
Sure.
Now, hear that hard-head Harry, mucklehead man from Upso, where the airport gone so. He gonna say tonight that the 36 murders in 2011, nobody could forget that. Well, if nobody could forget that, we will always remember 59 murders in 23 months under Terrence July, hard-head Harry, who cannot lead a country. 59. There's a 60 million Frenchmen cannot be wrong. Well, 59 murders in the Federation cannot be right. Joe, every time you open your mouth, only one name you could see in front of you. That's Timothy. And only one administration you could see in front of you. The Farmer Unity Administration. And so you got blind political supporters. When I say blind, I mean politically blind. They're going to watch all the things that was done on the Patches the administration that you were a minister in, and they're going to say that Joe is right when he said nothing was done in 7 years under the farm administration.
Sure.
Well, I had a conversation today with an individual, and there's so much labor. They're going to tell me that nothing was done. I said, hold on. I said, you know the opposite for nothing? I said, the opposite of nothing is something. So what when you said nothing was done? I said, okay. Was all road by there when before you get in? They can't answer that. I said the large pier that hold the large tourist ship on the sea. It was there before you get in. They can't answer that. I said, see you. I don't hold conversation with blind political people. Speak the truth. Regardless to who rule in the country, speak the truth. So I just hang on my phone, blam, done with you. Now, I'm so glad that your program is very informative, enlightening, and education we get from it. $8 million on Mr. Bradshaw House. Why it stopped? Where the money gone? And the money for the La Valley Cranston Estate Golf Course, what the German Shepherd cannot remember. Where that money gone? The 22,000 passport that got on July's signature and say he was set up. You were set up? Well, suppose he never set up. But July, I am telling you, you need to just walk downstairs, come out and throw your hand in the air, and be honest. Country about self. So you cannot run the country because you do not know how to manage the country. Now today you're going to tell me the money that rightfully deserve and rightfully earn to the people who are non-established worker like me when I was working for them. To give the people them the money, they got to block off street, put tent, and got politicians down there giving out whatever they give out to the people them. That no politics supposed to be in that. That is the purpose of the mail, the post office. Send whatever it is to the post office and let the mail get to them. And stop all chopping it, everything.
Okay.
From the time he gone in there, he been campaigning straight. Politics.
Okay.
Driving the vehicle forward, but he keep looking back.
Okay, my brother.
Anyway, I'll come back again, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you so long.
Thank you. Thank you very much, my brother, at all times for your intervention. I go back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Mr. Patches, greetings. How are you?
Oh, greetings, my brother. I'm peaceful. Yourself?
I'm very, very good. Continue listening to your
Thank you.
lively programs, helping to reform the country.
Thank you.
And that is very good. And I must agree with one you emailers, the last program for doctors was very good, substantial. When you get a chance, you could broadcast a program of that nature, and that would be good.
Right, so.
Whenever conflict arises between material and spiritual values, the conscience plays an important role. And anyone who suffers from a guilty conscience is never free from this problem until he makes peace with his conscience. Mr. Patches, the lady who make her quotations and the Bible man, they're two inspirational citizens.
Yes, they are.
Program.
Yes, they are.
For the program, and it's good. They providing the quotations with of righteous values. They carry a spiritual strength. Mr. Patches, on your program is good. You, let's say, analyze a little more concerning the pandemic and the utterances. Because you see, the pandemic wasn't a Sankey's thing. If it was a Sankey's thing, we could talk certain vibes. But it was an international problem.
A world problem, yeah.
Face all the countries of the world. And here's it, our people had to bring strategies in place, has to bring policies in place to protect the people. And the opening of the countries, Mr. Patches, our country could have put more guidance in our opening because we had buffers. Here the governor of the central bank spoke of it. To compare to them other countries who open up because they had to find a way to tell themselves, well, that people have to survive. So they take the risk and do what they had to do. Remember, all the countries of the world were guided by the health experts. So I think in making our comments, and the guidance of the Spirit of God was over the country because it was about life. And wherever life is protected, the Spirit of God is there doing that important job.
Yep.
Mr. Patches, the clip that you put up pertaining the legislation for the CBI, that was very good for the country. And here is it. A prime minister under a government put that kind of legislation in place to protect its people. But all the time, there is no positive credence to that government. It was about the country. When Timothy was governing the country, it wasn't a PLP strong heart within the government to say he had the most seats. So he had to do things to show what he can do for the country. I mean, we cannot outrule that. That was about management. It shows what politicians can do. If they manage the country properly, we get a lot out of the country. That was the example of the unity administration. And it's good to hear the voice beat of a brother who expound his words pertaining to peace. Because you see, when you hear different positive words from our society, it balances our democracy. And that's why sometimes when I hear you calling on the deacon, Pastor Connor, to say what pertaining the statement, you don't be fictitious.
No.
It's to help balance the democracy in our country. Because we say we are a godly nation. Mr. Patches, you continue to be good and you stay strong.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
My dear brother, and you stay strong as well. I always like your interventions, and you're so correct, and this is what you referred to, the comment from a brother. Let's call him that.
I want to ask July something. So people are there thinking before the peace program. How much used to dead a year before the peace program under Labour? Why do you come like these at guns? How much people used to dead as sing kids before the peace program a year? The peace program come and the peace program lessen it. I come back here now and the same bullshit start again. People start to drop like flies by blaming the peace program. I don't tell you, real killers don't join the peace program. I need to teach July some sense.
We have a serious gun problem in our society. This societal ill reflected throughout the region has been serious for us for at least 2 decades now. But it has worsened because of the introduction of money into the equation. Not only do the gangs have numerous members, but because of the ill-advised peace program, they have significant amounts of money used to buy influence and dangerous sophisticated weapons which are used to carry out heinous acts. That is why the focus in our National Security Council meeting earlier today was suppression. Suppression in preventing the inception of crime or preventing expansion of criminal activity.
And my Sure Talk family, the palace guards, I call them, that attend these conferences, the round table and the quote-unquote press conferences that are hosted by July, never ask the questions, or if they ask the questions, they never follow up if they don't get the answers. As someone asked him just a few days ago about the Public Accounts Committee, and he never touched the question. And the host, McPhail, never even made sure he responded. But the fact is that July has changed the alternative lifestyle program to something he called Elevate. He made reference of a consultant that he's paid $96,000. I don't know if it's US or EC dollars. $96,000. That lady from Jamaica. But he's paying the same members on Elevate who came over from the alternative lifestyle program, albeit the numbers have been reduced. So I think it's now 450 or more, the last I heard. But they are being paid. So are you still paying them, Dr. July, to buy these guns? What nonsense do you be talking? Caller, thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Liburd.
My Lord, good evening. How art thou?
I'm not bad, and you?
I am peaceful, my brother.
Yeah, interesting magician program we have here tonight. But I just want to get something straight. How many actual shooting murders have we had for the year?
Well, there seemed to be a little discrepancy. From that I know it was 20, but I heard the Minister of National Security refer to 19.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing because we've been counting one by one as they come along.
Yes.
And I know we add up to 20.
Yes.
And suddenly he has subtracted one, so one of them who was shot must he come back alive. He's worked some kind of miracle or something. And he said, there's a resurrection somewhere. I wish you would tell us which one has come back alive.
Yeah,
But overall, there have been 21 murders for the year because remember, Newtown, a fellow used a vehicle and a 2x4 to kill a man, so it's actually 21 overall, but 20 shootings.
Yeah. Well, it's a good observation because I heard it myself when I listened to him.
Yeah, but I believe person like Doyans should be very upset with the stupidness you're talking about the peace program is the cause of the increase in crime today. Because Dwyer and person like Nital and the guy from Jamaica were also all part of the plan. They're the ones who put the idea together and worked it out to whatever it turned out to be. So I could understand Dwyer being totally upset with what you said because he now said accusing Dwyer to some extent of being involved in planning the murders that we're now seeing. He's got to be very conscious of the other persons he might be hurting because what would be done? We've done in genuine effort to reduce crime, and it did reduce crime. It's not two ways about that.
But he accepted that. Sorry to interrupt. He accepted that when he came into office in his independence speech. I think it was his first one. He said he's going to reduce it to single digits.
Yes.
You know, but
so the longer he stays, the more he becomes.
Yeah.
Because I should do a broadcast on that man because he accusing Doy of making these fellows gun rich. They have plenty of weapons, powerful weapons, which they use to kill people, which to me doesn't make a lot of sense. So who is he going to accuse now of causing the major increases in crime like in 2011 and they were about? He can say that money with the peace program caused that.
He's paying them as well. He's paying, if he's saying not pay, he's paying the elevate.
I know, but he not honest enough to say so.
Yeah.
And people forget that. So it's good that you're bringing it up as well to let people know that he's doing the same thing. He modified the program somewhat, but he's still paying them. So in other words, because he have to ask back for his money or something, and he's not.
Yeah.
I asked them for the guns that they buy since he in there.
Well, but sorry to interrupt, but could $500 or whatever amount they get buy guns? Guns are so cheap. You used to trade in guns. Guns are so cheap.
No, they're a lot more expensive than that. But something is definitely not right to the young man's head. He needs an advisor, a true advisor, not the fellows who go on the radio and chat a whole heap of crap. Maybe you should hire you as an advisor. You don't think so?
I will give him some good advice, but certainly,
Right. I know you would. I will have to call him tomorrow and let him know that he should consider you as an advisor, because whoever is advising him, giving him the wrong figures, fooling him off. Anyway, have a good night, man.
Have a good night as well. Thank you as usual for your contribution. And all these murders have come on the heels of what I call draconian legislation that was introduced in Parliament. And he did make mention of that as well, my Straight Talk family.
We also took firm parliamentary action by implementing the Firearm Amendment Act in 2024, in which penalties were increased significantly such that persons in possession of illegal firearms and ammunition can serve up to 40 years in prison and be fined up to $500,000. We also have embarked on a comprehensive criminal justice reform exercise, which has seen the Justice Interference Prevention Act passed in June 2024 and other legislation soon to come, such as legislation to allow gang-related trials to be conducted by a judge only in the High Court.
And my Straight Talk family, we do have as well to clarify, because there's a discrepancy in the numbers reported in the media to what the Minister of National Security said, as was just intimated by our last caller. He said this.
Thus far, in 2024, we have lost 19 souls who are our friends, family members and neighbors to violence. In the past 5 days alone, we lost 3 of our citizens to gun violence. On behalf of the government, the people of this federation and my family, I express our deepest condolences to the loved ones of the victims as you grieve. Rest assured that this administration will do everything it can to bring justice for your families. We have lost our way as a society. Every homicide is one too many. Remember, every life is precious. We cannot become numb to any violent crime. The National Security Council, which I lead, has not become numb. We meet weekly to ensure that strong policies are created to sustain a safe St. Kitts and Nevis. This is the responsibility of any government supported by its people. The National Security Council includes the heads of all national security agencies in the Federation.
And he said, we meet weekly. But July don't attend these meetings weekly. He sends his advisor, Austin Appleton, Edinburgh, who has not received the proper clearance to attend such meetings, but he does. And my Straight Talk family, again, he just a few days ago on one of the local radio stations, he said this about opening the country. And every time I hear him, it irritates, I must admit, when he said things like this.
I want to remind our people that we came out of COVID. COVID, of course, would have had its deleterious effects, or its bad effects, so to speak, on our economy. It was worsened because a bad policy decision by the former administration to open the country late. All of the countries were opened early and benefited by the spike in tourism. Because you have to imagine, people were locked down in Europe and America, and so when the countries open up, they just rush out in numbers to get to a nice tropical island. We were not ready in time. And so the other countries saw record numbers, and we did not benefit from that because we kept the country locked down, unnecessarily so, because the former administration did it for political reasons. That hurt us, and hurt us tremendously. When you do that, you lose tens of millions of US dollars as a result of that bad decision.
So he's all about money over life, glorifying death over the sanctity of life, as I put it. And he continues to lie, to propagandize and politicize COVID-19 and every single issue. And all he is required to do is to govern the country, and govern the country for the benefit of all of us, Dr. July. Govern the country. That's all the people are asking you to do. Calling you live.
Yeah, Patches?
So.
Yeah, I am here. Patches? Yeah, Patches?
Yes, my lord.
Okay, I'm on, right?
Yes, you have something in your background.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever heard your grandmother tell you that dog never know how small the rear end is until they swallow bone. That parable goes to July. You know, since he get in there, he changed all the projects that Unity had in the pipeline. He blew them out, and he changed all the name them from what you call it, pop to elevator, whatever you call it. And he failed to understand, even though a lot of people been telling him on the radio that government is continuous, and he failed to acknowledge that. But now he swallowed his words. That is why unexpected singing calypso. English is a funny language. People got to analyze what they're going to say before they open their mouth. Because once you come out your mouth, you can't go back in. When you're going to give someone advice to stop doing wrong things, that advice, that admonition is supposed to be well accepted and move forward without getting in trouble. But when you're going to tell people will say, I got goat mouth, I got me mouth, me ain't got a goat mouth. When someone going to advise the listeners and say, well, if you know you are involved in a murder, borrow some money, buy a ticket, and leave the country. What are you telling the would? What are you telling the would-be perpetrators, those who intend to do bad?
Okay.
Well, I could do what you say and fly out the country. That was wrong.
Okay.
Wrong. And you had people here like you, Ian, Patches, Liburd. They could have given you a job to advise them what to do with this crime here. You come up rough and tough, like the advisor. Everybody come up rough and tough. But for the sake of money, people will say anything because the Bible says, the heart of man is desperately wicked above all things. So for the sake of money, they will sell the soul. Too sad for our country. 59 in 23 months. Come on, Patrice, go and advise them, but let them pay you $21,000 per month. Thank you, Patrice. Have a good night.
Have a good night as well, my dear brother. I go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Are you there, caller? Yes, caller, you're live.
Baila.
Yes, sir.
The man was right. They benefit. Them other country open up all. They benefit. They benefited.
You have equipment. You have equipment. You hearing me? You hearing me, my brother?
Yeah.
Just move away from your equipment, no?
Okay, Baila.
Yeah.
Them other country will open up early.
Yes.
They benefited with more debt.
That is true.
That's what happened. I mean, they benefited. They will open up early and things. They benefited with more debt.
Yes.
Because the status they put out, they will think it's the less debt, right?
That is true in the world.
Yeah. So they benefited by having more debt. So
okay.
This is the nonsense that these things will be talking about. Anyway, bless up.
Bless up, my brother. Thanks a lot. Yes. Yeah. The statistics are very clear in terms of what derived from our Life First strategy. And these are the statistics of all the countries in the world. And St. Kitts has ranked the list. Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Liburd, I'm calling to repeat the quote before you.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Before you close.
Never be afraid to raise your voice for honesty, truth, and compassion
against injustice.
Against
injustice and lying and greed.
Injustice and lying and greed. That's it?
Yes.
Yes.
Never be afraid to raise your voice for honesty, truth, and compassion against injustice and lying and greed.
Thank you very much for calling back.
You're welcome.
I really love your quotations. Thank you very much. Yes. And we are not going to be afraid to raise our voice for honesty, truth, and compassion against injustice and lying and greed. I got that one right. I'm happy she called back. As we talk, family, it's 9:57 and we are winding down. Let me dispense of the emails. I understand with this message that there is a new program. There's a new program under the Jew administration called Magic, but I am trying to find out what this means. Read this email. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Hey, me again, man.
Yes, man.
You touched on another topic tonight, the Basti High School. I'm going back to the Unity version of it. The plan was to go downstream of the well field, along by the, Kim Collins Highway. The well field is on the eastern, on the mountainous side of the Kim Collins Highway.
Right.
And the Basti High School was to be downstream, closer to the seaside of that whole thing. A few, quite as the guy said, 1,000 feet away from the nearest well or something of the sort. And along with that, they have the necessary treatment of sewage and that kind of thing, and which would then be fed out into the ocean. What I find strange, though, with all the talk and negativity that the Labour Party had given to the unity concept for the Basti High School, they are now planning a creative arts center. But this, I don't know if you're aware, but they're planning to put it on the hillside above the well field.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen to all the sewage water and so? Water went downhill, So you want it from up on the hill, down into the well field. Whereas they make noise at the Basti High School, which was planned to be downstream, they now have the well field downstream to the sewage coming out to the Creative Arts Center, which is going to contaminate the well field. I don't know if you give that much thought.
Yes, there was an issue before with the construction of a hotel in that same position. I understand it's the same owners have the land, but everything is a secret, so we don't know what this Creative Arts Center would look like, and what in terms of runoffs and so on would come from that center. But
the runoffs from there are more distant to reach the ocean than the proposed Basti High School was.
Right, and as you said, the active wells are in that area.
Right, it's upstream of the well, so anything coming out of that is downstream into the well field is going.
Yes.
So people across the boardwalk and frigate bands is Creative Arts purple water they're going to be drinking.
Well, because
obviously somebody has having criticized the Basti High School to go and plan something worse than that. To me, doesn't make any sense. Especially since the experts have already given up the environmental impact analysis of the Basti High School, gave it clearance. What going to impact analysis for the Creative Arts Center say? For a situation that is supposed to be to hold thousands of people, and obviously going to have some massive lavatories and that kind of thing. So, down into the water. Lucky they don't do water, because sorry for you know, it's a lot of we water you got to drink. Why? So plan to go doctor plenty.
Yes. But it's serious. It's serious, and something to look at. But everything is on the lock and keys. And there's no. They talk about transparency, but
Well, obviously it has been thought about too seriously, because they're contradicting themselves
all the time,
and foolishly so.
All the time.
Anyhow, good night again.
Good night, my brother. Thanks for your contribution as always. It's just about time, but I started a little late. I'd like to give you back your time. And this message reads: that road leading from Simaco parking lot passing up to the Tucker Clark Primary School and beyond is in a deplorable state. Where is the representative for this area? Has he gone to sleep, or he has moved out of the constituency? As I understand now, that he has won the seat, quote unquote. Read this email. From when these two became friends, the Prime Minister and the Attorney General, we have a perennial problem in this country, always looking friends with people when they are in a high position. During their school days, one could not associate with the other because one came from abject poverty while the other was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. They were no match to be called friends. But as the poor man accelerated and became Prime Minister, the rich, highly profiled man find it conveniently to reference the Prime Minister as his friend. Rubbish. The late Earl Clark and former Education Minister Carthy has warned us many times not to be fooled with these foolish pronouncements uttered by the Attorney General, that the Prime Minister is his friend. Really, boy, the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans, reads this email. Patches, he continued lying to people about the peace program. The murder rate is now at 20 lives. What you and your cabinet intended to do? A family member of mine was murdered during the Labour administration. Keep off the peace program, Dr. Joe, reads this email. Crime under Labour is always high. Patches, make no mistake. The peace program is not responsible for the current crime situation. It is merely returning to pre-unity levels. This is the crime situation under Labour because of how they operate and think about the man in the ghetto. They don't rate the man in the ghetto. So I repeat, the crime situation is really just returning to pre-unity levels. Jew just shame because nothing he tries is working. Dr. Harris, your press conference last Wednesday was great. You were well focused on the bread and butter issues that are affecting the ordinary man, while Dr. July and his avaricious, greedy government care less about the suffering of the poor and indigent citizens. No matter what they say about you, Dr. Harris, they can never walk in your shoes. No matter how many lies they concoct against you, you ensured that the country and its people were in good financial standing. You have the unparalleled financial knack to manage finance. Everyone has admitted that things were far better in the Federation when you held the Prime Ministership, and that is the gospel truth. The incumbent is a complete failure. He just don't know what he is doing while the country is sinking. Reads this email. The peace program was created out of a dire situation. Dr. Harris himself said it was going to be revisited and revised once he got back into office. We had a crisis and an immediate solution was needed. Thus the peace program was born. We had an opportunity to use it, to turn it into something more meaningful, and Dr. Joe missed it. He's so busy blaming Dr. Harris for everything. Students can't get loans. It's Dr. Harris's fault. The CBI making less money. It's Dr. Harris's fault. The sun is too hot. It is Dr. Harris's fault. The dog ran out the yard. It's Dr. Harris's fault. Poor he reads this email. Gear up and use elbow grease. When Dr. Harris took office in 2015, Dr. Douglas had the country in a mess. But Dr. Harris put on his gloves. Dr. Harris put on his gloves, his apron, got his mop, broom, and dustpan, and started cleaning the house and putting things in order. He didn't lament on Dr. Douglas over the 7 years. He did what he had to do, and we got results. If Dr. Harris said he would do it, bet your bottom dollar it was going to be done. But this man just keeps walking around and pointing fingers, talking a lot but not doing much more than traveling. On top of that, you can't take him at his word because he will tell you one thing, then come back and tell you the opposite later, or give you an excuse as to why he couldn't do it, or worse yet, not deliver and come back to talk to you about everything except why he didn't deliver on his promise. The audacity of this man. Reads this email. Caller, thank you for holding your live. Hello, caller?
My lord.
Yes, sir.
My lord.
Yes, my lord.
Well, I think you need to be advised this man. I don't really like to talk about politics. But if this man leave Harris alone and focus on running the country, I think he'll be much better. Just leave Harris out of what he going to make. Me don't support these things. He must leave Harris and what he did alone and focus on running the country. Because everything he do now, and every time he jump on Harris, he just putting his foot in muddy water all the time and chatting about stuff in it. Dr. July needs to focus on one country. Done with Harris. Leave Harris alone. Harris is in the past. What Harris done, he done. What I done do, I done do. Everybody is saying well, and the country was running better under that administration. So leave it alone. Focus on you one now. Is he part now? Let it play the part and run it. Anyway.
Thank you.
Blessed love, my brother.
Blessed love. Good advice for the Prime Minister. Run the country, govern, and stop politicizing. Good night, Patches. Even dogs, the Labour ones, saying that life is hard under this Labour government. Who not saying they're not going to vote for the Labour again, saying they're not voting next election? Patches, this corrupt, wicked government has to go. Read this email. Patches, Naima Hazel is fully in charge of the peace program from day one. she fully took over the program and kept others out of the loop. Miss Hazel and Coyote Sutton fully have the peace program in their pockets. Have Major Sutton come and let the country know if they are if these are the killers, like Dr. Drew said. Are we looking up, or are we locking up these fellows? Patches, this whole thing is controlled by Nahima and Sutton. Read this email. Social Security full speed. We need substance and real reform. Good night, Patches. Everyone should get the choice if they want their Social Security at 62 or 67. Whatever they want to change it to. But let Social Security and you know that we will not accept any scantily namby forced down our throat changes. Dr. Jew is so sickening. He wants to say he's doing things, but he has no vision and he don't even understand Social Security. Sick man and sick Oriole running this country. Senkis and Nevis is in a total mess. For how hard Labour got this country, I would advise everyone to take their pension at 62. Read this email, and I'll take these two final emails, my sweet talk family. The Prime Minister is really a liar and a joker. He said that he's unaware that the NIA owes Social Security millions of dollars, giving the false impression that it was the first time he is hearing it, when a caller told him quite frankly that the NIA is not contributing, is a contributing factor for the solid financial state of Social Security, as Dr. July states. And this final email, my Straight Talk family, crime ain't just start. Today marks 20 years since Constable Delvin Nisbet in Tabernacle was brutally murdered in Depe under Douglas. Continue to rest in peace. Read this email. And as we wrap tonight's program in my Straight Talk family, I want to thank you for your indulgence tonight, as always, and for those who actually joined me late, although I started late as well, for which I apologize. But we looked at our thesis tonight. Enough of this abracadabra cabinet. And I intimated earlier that as a young boy growing up in Newtown, there was a magician called Tunka the Kid, and I'm sure lots of us know Tunka, who mesmerized everyone with his tricks. Tunka was always full of antics, and he would do some real things. One night, with his pretty cloth and a magic wand, he shouted, "Abracadabra." Then he made this young woman lay a small golden egg. True. And after performing some stunning tricks, some people, especially the younger ones, grew afraid of Tunka the Kid. But later I learned that there were other people in the community who looked up to Tunka and believed that his magician acumen could solve their problems. So many days and nights you would see different people opening Tunka's gate as if they were going to see a doctor for advice. Well, Dr. July, our Prime Minister, reminds me so much of the magician Tunka the Kid, especially when he speaks and uses a kind of language that sounds so much like gibberish. And he gives the impression at all times that he's speaking from a position of authority, when in fact, he's chatting rubbish. And people have got so fed up with all the mumbo jumbo and the abracadabra from the Prime Minister. When they listen to him, he comes across like the magician Tunka, that always shout, "Abracadabra, I will build a smart hospital. Abracadabra, I will build 2,400 smart homes. Abracadabra, I will build a brand new Bastille High School. Abracadabra, I will stop the crime. Abracadabra, I will set up. But my straight talk family, after 2 years in office, what we have, it seems, is an abracadabra leader and prime minister. Clearly, Prime Minister July doesn't understand the preferences and needs of the people. But it's the crime that's bothering most right now, my straight talk family. And when we reflect on what has happened over the last 4 or 5 days, my straight talk family, the heaven of 59 families has turned into a living hell under July. Just 2 nights ago, well-known Sandra, may she rest in peace, and we extend condolences to her family, was brutally murdered, bringing the total murders for 2024 to 20, an overall total of 59 murders under Terence Michael July, our Crime Minister and Minister of National Security. And I say Crime Minister, not by accident, but deliberately. Because each time I hear him say that Team Unity Administration opened our country too late after COVID, my straight talk family, ask yourselves, is he glorifying death over the sanctity of life? My straight talk family, just a few days ago, what happened? Forced July to come out and give, quote unquote, a speech. Abracadabra, smart housing will resume next week. Then a few days ago, he talks about August kickoff. But my straight talk family, what is he committed to? And he wants a national consultation. And here's where I will end, my straight talk family. Because I strongly do not believe that we should have a national consultation on crime. Not at all, my straight talk family. Because the nonsense being peddled by Dr. Drew in his national broadcast, when he said about crime, my straight talk family, and the situation with the peace program, you wonder if July is serious about holding office.
We have a serious gun problem in our society. This societal ill, reflected throughout the region, has been serious for us for at least 2 decades now. But it has worsened because of the introduction of money into the equation. Not only do the gangs have numerous members, but because of the ill-advised peace program, they have significant amounts of money used to buy influence and dangerous sophisticated weapons which are used to carry out heinous acts. That is why the focus in our National Security Council meeting earlier today was suppression. Suppression in preventing the inception of crime or preventing expansion of criminal activity.
And what nonsense, my straight talk family. But the response from this member, a former member of the peace program, was right.
I want to ask July something. So people are there thinking before the peace program. How much used to dead a year before the peace program and the labor? Why do you come like this at guns? How much people used to dead as sing kids before the peace program a year? The peace program come and the peace program lessen it. I come back here now and the same bullshit start again. People start to drop like flies by blaming the peace program. I don't tell you, real killers not join the peace program. I need to teach July some sense.
My straight talk family, with respect to July's call for national consultation, he must guarantee the country that all boats will ride on the same tide, lest we should not attend that consultation, because he is not trustworthy to lead us in any consultation. In any given situation in St. Kitts Nevis, each of us is affected by the same conditions that the country is facing. So July, if he wants us to have a national consultation, must first commit to the idea of shared circumstances or equalizing factors that influence everyone equally. Because just as the tide impacts all boats on the water, the stressful conditions or changes you have made, Dr. July, with the peace program and the PAP have had a universal effect on everyone involved. So my humble view is any national consultation in St. Kitts cannot only address the issue of crime. It must prioritize justice, fairness, and the fundamental right to work and live in our homeland without facing political discrimination or victimization. The development of our country must transcend political divisions and secure our collective existence. My Street Dog family, they are highly qualified and competent citizens who are willing to put country above self, but are unable to secure employment simply because it is perceived that they do not support your Labour Party, Dr. July. And as citizens, we all have a constitutional right to freedom of information, yes, and freedom of association, and the right to work. My Street Dog family, a national consultation must therefore address the utilization of all our human resources, not just those aligned with your administration, Dr. July. So let us rectify the course and genuinely consult all citizens to move forward inclusively, my Street Dog family, as we aspire to transcend boundaries. There is widespread dissatisfaction with how the July administration operates, and the result it achieves creates a sense of disappointment or disillusionment among the populace, especially the poor people, my Street Dog family. But as the quote we got tonight says, we will never be afraid to raise our voice for honesty, truth, and compassion against injustice and lying and greed. The poor people are shouting loud and clear that they have all had enough of this abracadabra cabinet. That's my story tonight, my Street Dog family, and I'm not going to change it. I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, as always. I want to thank you, the many listeners, those of you who called, those who sent emails, those of you who just listened. Remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. I am Ian Patches Liburd, and God's spare we will connect on Monday for another edition of Straight Talk. Until that time, have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Do your chores. Have some rest. I'm going to church, God's spare, and you do what pleases you. But remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. And first of all, you got to believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Street Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Monday.
In the morning, I thank God for the morning light. Give Him thanks. and praise.